Got a whole lot of people thinking that they are things that they are not. Got a whole lot of people thinking that they are certain people that they are not. And I'm going to show you like how, the Europeans, when they came in here, Greeks and Romans, and took over these lands, they just ignored the ancient history and made up a whole new history. Now, let me show you what the true Jews were calling each other back in the day. See, we hear people all the time talking about slaveries in the Bible and things like that. And it's like, yeah, there was slavery in the Bible, but it wasn't the kind of slavery that you subjected our people to. See, if our slaves actually converted to wanted to follow our ways, they actually got their freedom. But see, you did not allow that to happen when you were, in charge. You did not allow our people to become Christians and then get the same rights that you enjoyed. You didn't want that. So therefore, even if we, try to, assimilate and follow your religion, you did not allow that. Now check this part out right here, okay? It's from the Customs and the Religions of the Customs, old book, almost 300 years old. Now talking about the slaves of the Jews and their slaves. Amongst the ancient Jews, there was a great distinction made betwixt their slaves, because some of them were Hebrews and some Canaanites. So see, in the real lands, they were calling themselves Hebrews and Canaanites. But all of a sudden, you get these people who come in, this Palestinian history, we're going to look at this book again, about the whole 4,000 years, this one right here, and they all of a sudden, they just get rid of the word Palestinian, of Canaanites and everything else. But back here real fast. Amongst the ancient Jews, there was a great distinction made betwixt the slaves, because some of them were Hebrews and some Canaanites. But at this time, except in the East and in Barbary, they purchased none. They who have any make use of them, keep or sell them according to the custom of the place where they reside. And in case their slaves have a mind to turn Jews, they circumcise and wash them and then set them at liberty. Now see, you guys never did that. We had plenty of our people who became Constantine Christians, tried to assimilate to your ways, but they still did not get their freedom. So see, you were supposed to have followed, a certain guidelines. And when you got your opportunity to be in charge, you just got rid of those guidelines. So I had someone made a comment. It was a good comment. It's like, well, if God put so-called white people above us and, in order to put us into slavery, in order to punish us and put us into curses, then why is he going to punish these other nations? Well, it's because they did way more than they were supposed to. The Most High told them how they were supposed to conduct themselves, and they chose not to do that. We gave the other people opportunity, if they were our slaves, to convert to, our practices, and we set them at liberty. They did not do that. It was pretty much, you're going to be in perpetual slavery. That was the doctrine of discovery. There's no way out for you. You got one drop of Negro blood, it's a wrap for you. So see, they killed way more than they were supposed to. They didn't give us an out when we were supposed to have an opportunity. They wanted to just make it this destruction of ours, as horrible as possible. But another point is that they look at what they're referring to themselves. These ancient people who were here during these, as they call it, the Bronze Age, 3300 BC to 1200, BC, they were still calling themselves Hebrews and Canaanites. But all of a sudden, Europeans popped up, and all of a sudden, Canaanites, they just got rid of those words altogether. Check this out. Again, real quick, we'll jump into this book, Palestine, 4,000-year history. And right here, Herodotus, who traveled widely in Palestine and Syria and beyond the coastal region, does not mention Judea or refer to Jews. So for some reason, somehow in this land that they're talking about, there's no reference to Jews in these lands. All right? He does not mention terms such as Canaan or Canaanites or Israelites in Palestine, nor to describe monotheism in the country. So there seems to be an issue going on here. Is this the real land of Canaan? Is this the real land of Palestine that they're talking about today? Because back then, during the time of Herodotus, there was no mention of these names, okay? So again, here in the same book, look at here, it says Palestine was a name used most commonly, consistently, and continuously for over 1,200 years, from 500 BC on to the time of the Moors, right? Throughout classical and late antiquity, from the highlight of the classical and Athenian civilization in 500 BC until the end of the Byzantine period and the occupation of Palestine by the Moors armies in 637, 638 AD. To substitute the vague and imprecise term Canaan for the real historical and official toponym Palestina, used during a classical period lasting over a millennium, would be tantamount to elimination of the history of this region and would create major obstacles to an understanding of classical and late antiquity. So you can see there's some kind of an issue going on here, because in the Bible and other books, and this book is from the 1730s. So they're still talking about in the 1730s that these lands were referred to as having Canaanites and Israelites, but all of a sudden these guys are talking about this land that they're talking about now. There's no mention of them. So are those the real lands? We'll see. Shalom.